Hello and welcome back to the Get in the Bin podcast. Pi's already laughing at me. It's because I just like switched into podcast mode on it. Yeah, it's so funny that we have to do this.
It's immediately terrifying.
I just started shouting. Yeah, well, actually, I've infiltrated your guys' apartment.
Yeah.
Jimmy's just shutting the...
I don't want anyone to hear what we're talking about.
in the door.
Hush.
Yeah, I've turned up at your apartment. I've set this up, and now we're going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
The Get in the Bin podcast. Before, like, we get into it, have you heard of the Get in the Bin as a phrase?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yeah, get in the bin.
I think you guys probably are the first ones who've been like, oh yeah, I've heard of that phrase before.
Oh,
because
really?
there's been a couple of people who haven't. I thought it was like generally
Wait,
in
no, I'm
language.
actually second guessing myself. I feel like it's one thing when it's not. So
What do you think it is?
just get in the bin, like
Yeah.
rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. Just get in the bin. Get in the
Don't
bin.
need that.
Yeah, exactly. There's two phrases: get in the bin and get in the van.
Get in the van.
Yeah.
That's a bit
Never
more
heard of that
malicious, that one.
I used to get in the van at different times. Yeah, but I guess, I mean, we haven't done this yet, but you guys, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Do I look at the
first,
camera?
Go on.
Go on camera.
Hello, I'm Payal Mystery. I'm 23. I'm an actor. And I'm part of College of Deviant Behaviour.
Yes. I love that.
Brat.
I'm Jimmy. I'm 25. I'm also an actor. I'm a performer. And I am a fellow cult member of College of Deviant Behaviour.
Yes.
I've actually got on my Instagram bio now, great dictator at the College of Deviants. Yeah.
No, have you actually?
I'm going into it. Yeah, that's it.
Lean into it.
I'm leaning into being a cult leader. I mean, you guys have been there from the beginning of the College of Deviants. So this podcast is produced by the College of Deviants. So it's actually produced by you guys.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, but what that means is that like it's under the umbrella of our collective, which is obviously a large group of people like performers, my mum, actors, writers, musicians. There's lots of different people who are involved in what the College of Deviants is. And it was an idea I had for ages, but in lockdown it came to the forefront just because it felt like there was a need there. So I guess what I'd be interested in from a narcissistic point of view is your experience of the College of Deviants. Obviously the night school is how it started and stuff. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. No. That's getting cut. Yeah, but I guess less what's your experience, but what is it to you? Like the College of Deviants, what is it?
I think it's just a nice way for everyone to get together. It's a really great collaborative experience. I didn't think it would get as far as it has. Not gonna lie.
Very persistent.
You are.
I think the thing was, it spawned really out of lockdown. Obviously, you had the Dapper Labs, which was something beforehand, obviously, where we all kind of got together, and that was a small group of people.
Very small.
And then we had the night school. Well, I mean, it really started with the movie reviews.
Yeah, we had a film club.
Film
We
club.
had a film
club. That was awesome.
Yeah, so that was quite fun. But then that was ages ago. So sort of spawned from there. And it's like, oh, how about we get more people and everything? I think it's a really good collaborative project of getting people who otherwise might not meet and otherwise might not be able to produce things together. Like you say, this is produced by the college.
Yeah.
That would be tricky to get to maybe just start up and sort of say, we'll do this and we'll get these people on and these people on. You know?
And I'm being quite bashful with the project itself. Like this podcast is one of the first things that's being produced outside of the live shows, which, was born out of the stuff we were doing in lockdown. But, my idea is that once this gets off the ground, we start producing other stuff and we just do it because I feel like there is and there's a culture in performing and creating of waiting and other people having the decision on what you actually make and when you make it and that kind of thing. And the problem is financially, it's not a great way of doing things, but actually it's so much, it's worth it. It's like rewarding, like our live show last month.
Yeah,
it was worth it.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. It was worth all the months of kind of like stuck inside and trying to piece things together and I'll just record a silly sketch and it's just for my mates kind of thing, and then it ended up coming to this coming to a head of a live show, and it was like, this is great. I never thought it would have got. I think you say like you didn't think it would get this far. I know what you mean, like because with lockdown, it felt like ethereal. It didn't feel like a real thing. I'm starting the night school, and it'll be fun for a few months, and we'll kind
Like
of
a little club.
And then the fact that it's still going, the fact that we're all still really excited and really encouraging each other is really
I think
fun.
it was very clear from the get-go that there is heavy potential. So I'm not surprised that it's gotten as far as it has. But
backtracking now.
but like it's very clear to see how hardworking you are and how passionate you are about something. So I think with the people that are involved, they are also just as passionate or wanting to continue the company you've made or the project you're wanting to do because of how kind of in love you are with it.
I'm obsessed with it. I'm absolutely obsessed with what we've got. So I'm loving it. And what is my favorite thing about it is there's zero barriers. People who are there, some people have trained and gone through drama school and gone through the whole experience. We did together. Well, no, not together, but I was a bit older, but that's fine. But then some people haven't. Like I said, my mum's there, but her expression and what she wants to create and what she's learning in those sessions is just as relevant and like as listened to as something that we create.
Yeah.
Valid, that's the word.
It's not, I think that's the thing. You get stuck between these lines of, oh, well, I'm a professional actor and I've been professionally trained.
Yeah.
On things. It doesn't really, like, obviously it means something in terms of what you've learned, but if you want to start, like your mum, if you kind of go, right, well, I want to start doing this, start. That's the best thing you can do, because then you get in that room with other people and they tell you what they think about it. This was really good. That wasn't so good. Maybe try this instead. And just that support group is enough to kick you off and get you going, isn't it? Like
it's literally that, And I've joked about this, but it's so serious. It was also just an excuse for me to have friends, like in terms of just to get people together though, like get groups together. Like after rehearsals when we went to the pub the other night, I was on a high and I was like, this is why I wanted this to happen, because it's a community of people. So eventually when I buy the farm and we all move
the ranch, up in the mountains.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be fab. But we've got a show coming. We've got a show on Monday actually. What date is that show? I think it's the 20th of September, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's happening at the King's Arms, and we're putting shows on regularly there. So not once a month, but maybe like once every 6 weeks or something like that. We're trying to do it. So this show is going to be boss. So if you're listening to this on the Sunday or the Monday day, you can come and watch that. There's still a few tickets left. And if not, we'll be putting a show on. So go and find it. The next show is going to be a stand-up special, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, which Jimmy's going
I want to take part in it.
You're moving to London, but you're going to come back.
Yeah, I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
I'm going to just, even if I don't have to rehearse, I'll just turn up on the day and be like,
yeah,
where can I go?
I am thinking about delivering those sessions online as well.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that could be something that maybe we could figure out, and or at least a couple of sessions or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Well, I feel like we could have talked about that for an hour, but we won't, because this podcast is called Get in the Bin. Yes. So we'll move on to the first round of Get in the Bin. So I have different rounds, and I can't quite remember the format for this podcast because I just don't do it.
We love consistency.
Yeah. I have good intentions, but then I find like the conversation's always better than like the actual game that I've created.
Organic, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
So like
Just free flow.
eventually it'll just be 5 minutes at the end. We do this bit, but I guess just to get into it, the first round, we always kind of open it up and it's like a topical round of something maybe that's happened in recent times that could get in the bin. Does anything jump to your mind specifically when I say that? Something that's recently happened? It could be within the news. It could be in your own lives.
That's what I was going to ask. Globally or local?
I was just going to say people who litter, not going to lie.
Okay, let's go. We'll discuss this. People who litter should get in the bin.
Well, there was a very weird thing that I've seen. Last Sunday, I went for a litter pick. I have to litter pick for my job. I work in a takeaway. There was like an electrical unit. I don't know if I've told you.
I don't think so.
Oh, God. And like, I went behind it and there were a set of boxes covered in a tower of tissues, painted brown. So
Painted?
Let's say painted.
Wait,
Yeah,
painted brown, covered in shit.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh my God, it was awful. And I had to pick that up. But the fact that it was just there. And also I've seen like people like smash bottles. They like, they purposely hide, I don't know, I'm just ranting now, aren't I?
No, go on, this is what it's about.
Point,
This is
yeah.
what it's about. Yeah, give us the rant.
Littering, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair enough if people are shitting themselves and then hiding it in
Literally.
a green.
There was
what is
also,
it? Electrical box.
yeah, I don't even know what you call
What?
it, but that's what I saw. And then also like a year ago, I saw like orange peels. They could have just been left on the ground. I wouldn't have been asked about it because
It's just natural.
It's
It's
natural.
fine.
Well,
Yeah,
they
yeah, you
gross,
can
it's
throw
great.
them.
It was put in a plastic bag.
Oh, the rats. How
like,
dare
how
they?
awful is that? So,
Just taking the mick out of you there.
yeah.
I know. So yeah, that's really annoying me.
Yeah, I mean, that's like normally we'd have a debate about that, but I don't know. What
If
side are you
can.
on? What side are you on,
Absolutely.
Jimmy?
I see people. I had somebody not too long ago, and just this woman walking through me. Obviously, got a coffee from Starbucks or something. We're not sponsored by Starbucks. So.
Yet, guys, but
Yeah,
one day.
And she just, she took the lid off her coffee and then held it. She got a sugar and poured it out and just dropped that on the floor. And then got another sugar and poured that out and dropped it on the floor. And got the stirrer, stirred it up and then dropped that on the floor. And then just got like the lid and threw that on the floor. And I just was like, there's just like these four things.
Wow.
I was just like, that's not that. It's like a little tiny piece of paper.
Like the most
And then little
corporate Hansel and
I was
Gretel
like,
ever.
Yeah, they're dropping the breadcrumbs where she's been before. I can't understand it. I mean, again, like an orange peel or something, it's completely normal. That's absolutely fine.
It's so
but just,
annoying.
and you see people like quite literally, it's that stereotypical thing of they like neck a can and then just throw it on the ground. You go, what right do you have to do that? You can't, what are you doing?
Do you know what? I wish I was the
hate it.
person who saw that and was like, "Hey,
I do that.
put that back in now."
Oh, there was some kid who threw a
A kid. Yeah. I do it to a kid, Jimmy.
no. Some kid who threw like this Coke can out of his car window, and I just picked it up and put it back in the window. I was just like, there you go, you can have that back. I don't think he saw me, so he was just a bit like, where did it come from? It's just descended from. And I was like, it's just rubbish.
Oh, no.
No, that's one of the most badass things I've ever heard.
I called a customer at my job. I've left now, so it's fine.
Go on,
So
yeah, let's
I called
go.
a customer petty and childish because their justification of littering outside of their car was the fact that we couldn't give them free sauces. No, but they didn't pay for it. So it was £1, and I was like, you need to pay for it. I'm not gonna give you free sauces. And they were like, right, well, I'm just gonna litter.
Right, yeah, totally. That makes
doesn't make
utter
any sense.
Yeah,
So I
sure.
just insulted them
You
and
should
walked
just
away.
hire Jimmy to hang out outside and just
them back in.
repost them back into the...
There you go. I think you dropped this. You dropped this. Sorry.
Nah, I don't have time for
Pretty
people who
badass.
litter.
We're gonna definitely put them in the bin. I've been saying every time I've done this that
Good
I'll
thing to put in the bin.
that
can I
I'd
just
have
say?
a
litter.
Yeah.
A good
Oh,
thing to put littering in the bin.
We'll
Isn't it?
put in-
Environmentally
Quite
friendly.
good.
oh yeah, but we're putting the litterers in the bin as well.
As well, okay, that's fine.
They're going in, and then a special place in the bin, like where all the
seventh level.
juices and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
That can be the people who litter with chewing gum.
Oh, yeah.
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 That's kind of.
We're putting them in the
That can go. That's just terrible.
bin juice is one of the worst.
Those phrases, ideas, concepts, anything.
Yeah.
Bin juice.
But I think anyone who litters
Not a lot of
chewing gum,
juice in my life.
they deserve.
Is that a euphemism or is that like?
Yeah, it's the way you said it to him, like, we've said a lot of bin juice in our time.
I'm so glad I'm not working anymore. at my job.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, that was a good one. That wasn't a very...
That is a solid one.
That wasn't too debatable. I wondered if you'd be interested in the second round.
Okay.
Which is actually a quick fire round. So it relies on your improvisation skills and my own because I haven't prepared.
I have
for
none.
this.
My brain will shut down. I do apologise. Don't expect too much.
So basically what happens is I give you something and you are only allowed one sentence and you have to say, should get in the bin because, so that it has to go in the bin regardless.
Okay.
So if I give you cheeseburgers, you have to come up with a reason why cheeseburgers should get in the bin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. This round is terrible because I'm bad at improvising. So I'll just be looking around like, Walls.
I feel like I complain a lot in my life anyways. I don't mean to, I just naturally do.
Yeah, you
so
won't have a problem with this.
I'll just find the most
you won't have a problem.
inconvenient thing to say about it and be like,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready?
I guess.
This is also, I don't know if you guys are competitive, but this is against each other, by the way. So we're gonna
right, okay.
decide who wins this
We're going
round.
down. I didn't
going
know. I
down.
thought this was like cooperative, not competitive. Okay.
Okay, we'll start with Pi. Video games.
Video games should get in the bin because I don't have that much time to supply. It's for it. It's like 40 hours of my life just playing one game.
To play it. Oh, right, okay.
That's a lot of dedication.
To supply. Like you're some sort of video game dealer.
yeah.
That was an awful one.
Okay, Jimmy. Mirrors.
Mirrors should get in the bin because I never look as good as I think I will in them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's so.
Get support away. This is a competition,
this is a
Pi.
That was so like eloquently put though. Mine was just like video games.
Yours is fairly worse. Like, let's be real.
Yeah. Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Don't think. It's a contentious
like
one.
Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
I knew that. That's why I went there. Remove your feelings from the game.
I can't think of anything.
Oh my goodness.
Go on. Use the person. So the character of Harry Potter. That's easy. Put Harry Potter in the bin. You've lost that round. We're going to move on to Jimmy. You've run out of time on that
I
one.
don't know what you could say about it though.
He's annoying. Harry Potter.
He's so
Harry
annoying.
Potter. I hope he chooses
Harry
one.
Potter should go in the bin because he's a cocky
He's
little
a
shit.
loser. That's why.
I don't care too much about Harry Potter, so I'm just like, oh, magical.
Okay, Jimmy. Girlfriends.
Girlfriends should get in the bin because they require. You know, it's competitive. They require too much attention at my time.
Right, do I?
Yeah, that's what they
Okay,
require.
say it to my face.
I just did. Thank you very much. There you go. It's a competition. I'm winning now.
Yeah.
You lost the round. I'm winning.
I don't
care.
actually mean that.
Yeah, no, I didn't
I
mean
do
that.
require a lot of attention though. I'm very needy.
You're aware of it at least.
Yeah.
Public transport.
Public transport should get in the bin because there's not any space and people stink and it's not I don't know.
I think people stink was enough. People stink was pretty clear.
You're trying to come up with the monologue here. That's okay, yeah. How about music? Music
should get in the bin because it is ever evolving. So in about 20 years' time, when we all think, oh, we're cool kids, we won't be granddads. Like I'll never be that old guy who hates on this music. There's going to be some form of music that'll be the worst thing we've ever heard, and we will all be like, oh, this is terrible. And all our kids and grandkids will go, oh, you don't understand it, you fuddy-duddy.
Oh my
That's
God.
why.
I'm having an existential crisis.
There you go.
Okay.
Jeebus.
Children.
Children should get in the bin because they're annoying shits.
Yeah. Drama students.
Drama students should get in the bin because they're pretentious as fuck. That's why.
It's so easy. That one's so easy.
wasn't even hard, yeah.
It was just like, who am I?
Yeah. What do I stand for? What do I
I think Jimmy won that round, right?
You didn't answer. We answered all the questions and you didn't answer one, so that's already a point for
I
me.
know all the hard ones.
Hard ones.
I'm terrible at improvising.
Yeah, you are competitive though. I can see it in your eyes. You're still like,
Trying.
I'm genuinely trying.
that's hard though. It's hard to think on your think on your feet. Yeah, I need to write lists because I'm not good enough to improvise good things to give people.
But it's like when someone says what kind of books do you like, and you forget every book that's
Yeah.
existed.
Yeah.
It's like, I have no idea. I've never
Yeah.
read a book before. What do you mean?
Because it's the last thing I'm thinking about. So when it comes down to it, I'm like, huh? I have to unlock that piece of my brain.
Yeah, I'm never ask me when I say I make films. Never ask me what my favorite film is because it's not that simple.
Yeah, it's not that
It's
simple.
really not. And I'm like, but why am I watching that? Like, what list do you want here? Am I just having fun, or do I want to learn something, or is it like the film I'd like to make? Yeah, there's many lists.
Absolutely, yeah. You've got like 20 top 10 lists. I've got the same. Where you're like, as in my favorite movies of all time, or as in the best movies I've ever seen, or like the most well produced movies. Like, what do you want?
Yeah. Are you asking me if I know about films and you want me to like tell you like?
Or do you want me to say like some Marvel movie?
Yeah, because I definitely have those two lists.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'd rather watch if I'm looking for something fun. I'd rather watch something that isn't like a masterpiece.
Yeah. You're not going to sit down for Citizen Kane with like with a few beers and popcorn, are you? You're going to be like, this will be a laugh. This will be good fun, won't it? Like,
I often wish I was that person, but instead, like, I'm like all the way to YouTube, Watch Mojo lists. Like, that's where I'm at.
I hate that movies now aren't made for like an hour and a half. They're made for 2 hours worth of being sat down.
We've had this debate so many times.
I hate it.
Well, did you see
I
A
just want
Quiet
to get
Place
in,
2?
watch it, and get out.
A Quiet Place 2.
Quiet Place 2.
No.
That was like less than 90 minutes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I'm sure, yeah.
Oh, there you go. You love that.
Oh, honestly.
Efficient.
I watched that 3 times. When it ended, I was like, wow, that was short.
Yeah.
That was amazing. And I was like, how did they tell me that story in such a short space of time? So I went to rewatch it and I was like, wow.
Have you seen Whiplash? I think that's about an hour 20.
Yeah.
Like that's another one. Yeah, you kind of get to the end and you go, how did I, that feels like it was about a 3-hour film backed into an hour and 20 minutes.
That's in my list. Whenever anyone asks, that's
so good.
That's in my list.
So I struggle with films that are like 2.5 hours because I'm like, I have to dedicate. If I start at 12, then I finish at 2:30. That's like all my day gone.
Yeah.
One of my favourite arguments you ever had to not watching a long movie was, I feel like there'll be too much talking. And I was like, that's what movies are. It's people having dialogues with each other.
I feel like...
They're going to be talking too much. I was like, that's the movie.
I have very controversial opinions and I understand they're controversial. I shouldn't say.
I really shouldn't say.
That's too much. That's too much. Yeah, I'm not going to say that.
Right, indulge me. Okay, we'll get back to getting the bin in a minute, but indulge me for a moment. I wonder if you've thought about this. Like for me, because I'm self-employed, which basically means unemployed a lot of the time, and I'm a freelancer, like I spend a lot of my time at the moment just daydreaming. And I've found that really is beneficial for me. So I used to try to write things down, especially like, trying to do the comedy thing at the moment. I used to write the jokes like verbatim and write ideas down verbatim. And I'd sit there with my laptop or a notepad and just constantly write. And I've realized that nothing has ever come from that for me. But what has is just daydreaming and like thinking and writing in my head and just coming up with ideas and stuff like that. And daydreaming about what I would like to do. Like I really can get lost in my own mind sometimes. Like I feel like I've achieved the thing already that I want. And like I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm someone who's into manifestation and crystals and all that kind of thing, but I do every time I get a shower, do my BAFTA speech. And like a huge part of me believes that I'm going to win best short film at the BAFTAs. Like, and that's what I daydream about most. And I'll always do that. Yeah. And I kind of like, I'm not an arrogant person, but I back myself to make a good enough film to be nominated for that kind of thing. So long-winded question, but do you do that? And if so, what's the daydream? Like, what's one of, like, where'd you put yourself? Or do you not?
I thought about this because of the move that we're having to London.
Yes. Oh, there's a timer there.
Like,
everyone's just been triggered. It's a horrible sound.
I think I'm so easy and simple. I just want a house.
Yeah?
I just want to be successful in the fact that I'm financially stable, which is hard as it is. I'm not thinking about how I'm going to get to that point because that's too difficult.
Yeah. But it doesn't line up with your career.
House, countryside.
Yeah, well, I've seen a painting of it.
Yeah,
so you
true.
Truly have manifested that.
I suppose you
I just want to travel.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's the thing. It's funny you say that. I think there was a generation before us which the idea was millionaire, wasn't it? Having as much money as you could possibly have. And it's funny because obviously we've gone past that, and our generation has become this kind of thing of, I just want enough money to be able to functionally live. Like, I would like to have money that I'm not worrying about money every month.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of the thing. And obviously that's not new. That's always happened forever. But that was definitely less of a thing, I think, maybe 40, 50 years ago. And now our generation has this kind of more idea of, I just want to be able to have a house, and I want to be able to be comfortable and not have to worry about my next paycheck and not have to worry. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you say about obviously daydream. Ask about daydream. I don't have a solid daydream that I kind of. It might sound a bit wanky. I don't like to live in the future or in the past. I like to live where I am now. And I have ambitions. I have ideas of sort of, I'd like to be able to achieve these things, and I'd like to be able to live in this place, kind of thing. But for me, the idea of, I personally would never be practicing my BAFTA speech, because for me, the idea of practicing my BAFTA speech, it's not manifestation. That would be almost
disappointing if it doesn't. If
it doesn't happen, you spend your whole life trying to be expecting that that's going to happen, and then you get to the end of it and you go, "Oh, it didn't happen. That was a bit annoying." As opposed to actually all the good stuff that did happen because of that. And obviously, I'm not saying you're going to be doing that, but you get my point.
No, I'm gonna win mine. That's why.
Yeah, you'd rather be surprised than disappointed, I suppose. So you'd rather have that kind of like, oh, I got it. That's so good.
Yeah, if you don't expect, you're never disappointed. But
for me, it's never been like a. You say about daydream, I think that's so interesting because there's so many people that have like when you're in school, like looking out the window and daydream, and I always got told off for that. Like, stop just daydreaming and looking out the window. I was like, well, I'm having more fun doing this than sitting in this classroom, so I'm gonna do it. But I think there's differences. You know, there's daydreaming. There's sitting there and just kind of letting your mind wander and not really thinking about anything. And then there's what you were saying about you can sit and try and write jokes and try and sit there or something. Or you can kind of just give yourself time to be peaceful and let your mind wander. Yeah. And eventually it will wander onto that kind of thing, those things that you want. If you're really into writing jokes at the minute, or you really wanted to write a play, or really want to, whatever it is, you're going to sort of gravitate to that naturally. And then by the time you get to that point, it does
just happen. And it is about not forcing it, which, you know, it can just be so easy to do that, to just like lock yourself in a room and say, now we've got a 9 to 5, let's make this play or let's make this thing happen. And I've got trapped in that before, and it doesn't work like that. I wish creativity worked like that, where you could just go
spontaneous. Creativity is spontaneity. Like, and that's something I believe in. I don't think you can. It's the same thing with like corporate art. You know, you go to a dentist's or something and you see these paintings and you just kind of go, that doesn't really do anything for me. And then you go to a museum or something, you see a painting and it's just immediately different. And you're like, oh my goodness, wow, it's so impressive, it's so beautiful or whatever. And it's because that corporate piece of art has been, what do we make that's going to look good but not be too, you know, they go through all this whole...
It's like the paintings we got in this flat, they were so bad.
Abstract,
we've covered them now, we've got rid of them.
That's an interesting question.
It's an interesting idea of just where things come from. When you're talking about traveling, like to me, and like I think about it too much, definitely, but to me, why I would want to travel would be to get stories, to have experiences, to turn them into how I like to express myself, films, art, jokes, whatever it is, whatever it turns into. But like, you know, I even find myself sometimes like being offered an experience and going, well, there's something might happen, so I might as well and go down that thing. And, you know, I don't know whether it's healthy or not to always be switched on in that sense. But for me, it's opened up my life to loads of experiences that I probably wouldn't go down that route if I didn't have in the back of my mind the idea of turning it into something. You know, like I try to live in the moment and reflect on it after, but you know, I am still aware that I'm having an experience. And I think part of being an artist is watching yourself do something. And, you know, and that's why also a lot of us are very self-conscious, because we're literally conscious of ourselves.
Yeah, like being aware of yourself, self-aware, you know, it's a tricky thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I think that you're, no, I've interviewed you before, Pi, and we had a similar conversation of living in the moment and not thinking too far in the future, which I think I need to take a little bit of that from you guys. But for me also, having those dreams really it makes me happy. Like it hypes me up, and living in those daydreams as well. I don't crash out of them as you might expect. Like they just make me happy. I know that they're fantasy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
But that's what I mean. That's the difference. There's a difference between being aware of it and not. There's those people who are like, this is going to happen because I'm thinking about it, and then when it doesn't happen, it's like, but I've been thinking about it for so long? How is it not just sort of fallen into existence? And it's like, because it doesn't work that way. You have to make it. You have to make it happen. So like you're enjoying it, and you sort of the idea of it is enough. It's like, oh, that'd be so good.
I love daydreaming.
Yeah, I do
it's
too.
so
Yeah,
comforting.
it
It's so like
Stare out the
therapeutic.
window
Yeah.
and just
And
let
I
your mind
daydream a
wander.
lot when I'm listening to music, like happy music, and I'll daydream about where I'd like to be when listening to that music. And it's very simply like, I'll be listening to a really happy song and I'm like, oh, I'm roller skating in a park. And I'm just like, it means nothing and it's not going to add to anything. But it's just nice knowing that I can dream about somewhere that isn't where I already am.
Do you know what I
put yourself
think?
somewhere else,
Yeah.
And it's a shift in my mindset that took a long time. Coming out of university, I pinned, and this is like might be something for people who are creatives or particularly actors. Like coming out of university, I was really pinning a lot of happiness on being an actor and getting jobs and the goals within that as like career goals. Like I was pinning my happiness on auditions and, you know, being seen as an actor. Like I clearly heard about what other people thought of me in that sense. I wanted to be validated in that way. And now I have big goals, but I'm really happy performing for ourselves, putting something on ourselves at the King's Arms, meeting every week and just experimenting and creating things together. And just being on this grassroots level of no one else being able to control what we're doing. That makes me so happy. And I think having that, grounded in that and being around people in that community has really settled my like that part of me that was seeking validation. So now I'm really content in that space. I'm like, I'm happy where we are and I could stay here forever. Like I'd happily just be making things on a month by month basis forever whilst trying to pursue my own goals. Because even if I don't make it as a comedian or a filmmaker or anything, the happiness isn't there. That's just like a miss in terms of, but it's like 10% of what I actually care about because I'm just making things. So like, I think, I don't know really what I'm trying to say, but there's a lesson there in not pinning everything on. I don't know if it was a similar experience for you guys or not.
When we did, when we in third year, we obviously had our showcase where all the agents would come and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show my arrogance here now. At the time, anyway, probably not so much now, but there was this kind of idea within myself that I was like, I don't really feel like I have to try that hard. I'm going to really sort of put the effort in and give it a go, but I'll probably get picked up by an agent. I know I'm good. I'm sort of aware of my ability and blah, 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 all these things. Yeah, I don't really have to do it. And, you know, I think you can guess. I got to the end of it and did the showcase and everything, and everybody else was getting emails and stuff. And I thought, okay, it's fine. It'll take like a day or two, I'm sure. And nothing came through, and nothing came through, and nothing came through. And that was kind of one of those things, like this hit on the ego of kind of being like, oh shit, like you can be really good. And I'm not saying I am, but that kind of idea, you can be really good. And that doesn't mean that everything's just going to fall into place for you. That's not how that works. You have to still pursue it. And obviously I did. I pursued it and I got an agent in the end. But it was one of those moments of kind of, I genuinely was just like, yeah, it's just going to happen. It will just happen. And I don't really have to think about it too much. And because it didn't, I learned a lesson from that.
Yeah.
That was a thing for me.
But it also is about like, you know, that pinning everything on that. And it's hard to explain that. You can do things outside of what you're told you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You can go, you know, that's what my thing is about. I have like the phrase disrupt the everyday. Like the idea of that is that you don't have to go down that route. Anyone I have ever idolized has paved their own way in their industry, and then people have recognized them. And they were just doing it off their own backs for free because they loved it. And that's what I was doing when I was a kid, when I fell in love with performing and creating things. Money and everything wasn't even there. It was like, give me a stage, give me my friends, you know, give us a play or a project or something, and let's just do it. And it was the most fun ever. And that's all I'm chasing now. Let's just have fun with what we make.
I think with uni and like any training, I think our uni, I can only say it with ours because we've lived it. You know?
Went there,
But I feel like in your third year, it kind of does create a kind of toxic relationship between yourself and the actual career that you're wanting to go into, because it's very, you need to get your headshots, and now you need to do your show reel, and now you'll have to get an agent, and now you have to do auditions. And it's like, I don't feel like I'm building that love or that kind of, it doesn't feel fun anymore. It just feels like this is a job. Now I'm in this industry. Now I have to actually try really hard. And I don't think that's healthy at all. And I think people genuinely need to find that kind of balance between having fun and being able to branch out and do different things whilst also doing, well, having that career as well.
I think what you said there, like it begins to become a job. It becomes to become something that isn't something you're doing because I have so much passion for this. This is so interesting. Like doing this, we go on and we just make something for the fun of making it. If we don't get any money for it, we're fine. If we don't get any recognition for it, fine. I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Like, let's just make it because it's fun to make it, and it's there's a joy that comes with that. Whereas you sort of get to this point where, like you said, this kind of thing of, and you have to do it if you want to make it in that field. But you have to get your headshots, and you have to do these things, and you have to do this, and you have to do this, have to do this. And I think you just kind of get to the end of this kind of road of, when am I going to do some acting? When am I actually going to start doing what I want to do?
That's a big one.
Why do I have to?
It's not what you promised yourself it was.
Yeah.
Because you don't know.
Yeah.
You just go, well, I love doing this, and there's people on TV that are doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
But they're doing something completely different on the TV than what you were doing when you're 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
And then you learn what it is, and you don't want to believe it's not.
Yeah.
It is the definition of a toxic relationship, isn't it? You don't want to believe it's not what you promised yourself it was.
Yeah.
But it's not. And you have to learn, and you have to question yourself whether you do want that thing or you actually want something else.
Yeah. Well, that's the classic thing, isn't it? Do you want to do this or do you want the fame? Like there's loads of people who go into this who what they want is fame, and they sort of have that idea of, I want to be an actor and all these things. And it's like you want the fame that comes with being an actor,
and there's a job for that now.
Yeah, of course you can be an influencer or a TikToker, or,
and I don't think you should. I don't think if that's who you are, I don't think you should feel bad about that. I think you should go for that.
Right.
I think you should. If you want to make videos on the internet, like just go and do that, but don't feel bad about it if that's what you actually want.
Yeah.
Don't try to use the acting things as an excuse or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what you want to do, then that's kind of fine. Like, don't try and pretend that it's something that it isn't. You know, like we were talking about this. I can't remember her name, and it's not important. Who's like a TikToker influencer who is now signed like a multi-movie deal with Netflix kind of thing. And you go, she's not done any acting before. She's never been or even really expressed an interest in it. But because she's already famous, Netflix is like, well, just get her and she will bring in the revenue. And it hurts to see that because you're just like,
but then that's the exact thing, isn't it?
It genuinely feels like a losing battle sometimes, because even though it is as competitive as it is, it's just like you've got these people who are getting a step ahead. They can just get famous and they can just do these movies, whereas you are just trying and doing all these auditions and you don't even get that foot in the door.
But then there are people like Bo Burnham, who spoke about on the last podcast as well with Erin. We spoke a lot about Inside, and you go, well, actually, he did it, and he's doing it to a level of what anyone who wants to be in that world is doing it at. And like he's put a craft to it and stuff, and so he's one of them that has paved his way in. And then he got a lot of backing. Like, don't get me wrong, Netflix saw him early and got him in and all that kind of stuff, but he made himself known and stuff. But it is about really being honest with yourself and saying, what do I actually want to do here? And that was a hard decision for me personally. And the best decision. I felt like I'd had a breakup that like I had to get out of. Do you know what I mean? When I decided like, I don't think acting's for me. And honestly, when I told people, it's like I died. Yeah. It's like they were like, what?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah,
how?
yeah.
Well, you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah. It was literally like I told them, I'm about to die. I'm going doing a master's in filmmaking. They're like, what? But
why?
that's not. Yeah, honestly. But, us all kind of getting a bit older and learning that lesson, loads of people have gone and done that, and it's been the best decision they've ever made personally. And you can always come back to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't go away. But it doesn't feel like that, does it? When you leave, it feels like you've got to do it
feels
now.
like it's permanent. Like you're kind of deciding that I'm going to put this away and I'm never going to touch it again. That's the thing. I think that's what's a bit hard. I'll say about myself, but like I imagine this is the thing. There's so many people in the world who are in my shoes right now. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. but I'm not getting much. And I know what I want. I've had that conversation with myself of kind of being like, yeah, I want to be an actor. I want to perform on a stage or on a screen, and I want to have that script in my hand and work through that character and find those beats. And I want to do that. I've kind of had the idea of, should I make a film, or could I write a play, or could I do a book, or could I do? And it just doesn't speak to me.
No, you're
in
an
the
actor,
same way.
innit?
I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't
You're an
speak to
actor.
me. I don't want to do that. And then so it does become a bit hard. Where I keep saying, there's a friend of mine who's very good, talented musician. And I always say I'm so envious because of the idea of being able to make your own stuff. Of just having that kind of, if you get an idea, you just go, oh, brilliant. You pick up the guitar and you just do it.
Yeah.
And you just kind of make it. And that could be a 10-minute process and you make a whole song. Me as an actor, if I'm in that rut of, I really want to be acting, I really want to do something, there's not a whole lot I can do. There's not like, I could pick up a script or a monologue and try and learn that. And you kind of get to the end of it and you go, great, well, what do I do with that
But that's
now?
what was great about the last show.
Yeah.
Because, you got a character and you got into it and you got to kind of
exactly. I had
get that
ability,
little feeling again.
It was good fun. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that's something people are getting in the next one as well, like especially the new writing stuff, but really going into the character of it. Oh, yeah. That's been so fun to watch people do that again, because that is the best part of it, when you get to mark a script.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get to go out and try stuff. Yeah, I'm excited for the, Kieran's one that's going to be on the.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, it looks incredible. Yeah,
So is that coming in on Monday?
Yeah.
How long
is it?
I think it's like 10, 50. I think it's like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Is this the one?
Marco and Izzy.
Marco,
Right.
Francesca, and Duncan.
Francesca.
Yeah. It's gonna be good. There's another round. There's a round that we're gonna skip, which is the community entry, because I haven't been putting it out, and it's like,
Oh, right.
I can't keep bringing things from myself and pretending that someone's emailed
Someone
me.
send it in. Okay.
So one day I'll have a community that'll be sending things in that we go and put in the bin. Like, my idea is that they've got housemates or people that they're like, can you just debate whether they should get in the bin or whether or not. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's actually really fun.
So yeah, well, that'll be in the future. But the final round, and I'll give you a bit of time to think about it, because it requires you both bringing something and arguing, and only one of them's going in the bin. So you can have a bit of time now to have a think about it.
This is anything
Wait,
at all.
what's this?
It can be a person, it can be an item, it can be an abstract idea. It can just be as simple as cardigans, anything. But you're gonna debate against each other.
I thought of a lot of many sort of things that I was like, that's a bit too much. And now I thought, yeah, no, I could. And I know you'll debate it. I think.
Nice.
I know you will. You'll hate it.
Okay, I've got one. I'm not.
I feel like it's specifically at Jimmy now.
No, I've done.
Oh no, it's not.
Oh.
You'll probably hear it and be like, "Why did you pick that?" But I have my reasons.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, then we've still got to debate it. Though.
Well,
We've still got
you
to-
guys-
So
you
you're going to
guys
be for
actually-
it, and I'll be against
We'll see.
it.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, what'll happen is you'll get a minute each. So you'll do a minute. We'll have a little chat about it. Then you'll do a minute,
Okay.
and then we'll see.
Okay.
I, by the way, because I'm the great dictator.
Yeah, you decide.
I
obviously.
decide. Yeah,
Why
so
would
you're
we fight with
convincing.
you?
You're convincing me. Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Why would we argue?
Don't
against
mess with me, guys,
of
because
course.
you've seen the movies.
Get in the gulag. Get in the gulag. Right.
Okay, you've got 1 minute.
Me first.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah. I feel like you were quite decisive, so you've got a minute
Okay. I'm
now
ready when
to
you
debate.
So I have to be for it.
Oh no.
You can be for it, against it. We'll see.
okay.
We'll see.
So Jimmy's just going to speak for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, then you'll decide. Well,
Okay.
If you've got something to say, I'll let you have your I'll let you say your piece. But for now, a minute of Jimmy.
Right.
Go.
Carbonated fizzy drinks should get in the bin. Okay. Purely for the I drink drinks. I'll have like a fizzy drink every so often. They are all of them are insanely unhealthy compared to any other drink. You can have any soft drink that isn't fizzy, and it pretty much is exactly the same. I don't get the idea of the fizz being I don't get it. The other thing is, me personally, I could live without it. I could just live without it. If I never had a fizzy drink again from now until the day I died, I'd be perfectly fine with that. The only problem I think would be beer or alcoholic fizzy drinks. But then I drink ales and I drink stouts anyway. So I don't drink the fizzy lagers. I'll have an IPA. If it's not fizzy, I'll have a stout, I'll have a port, I'll have anything else. So for me, any of those things, fizzy drinks, they're just unnecessary to the world at large. And also, just they took over pretty much every other company. Like Coca-Cola is one of the worst companies in the world, and I'm just seeing it. I've got one of those
It was a
worst
strong
companies.
end. It was a strong
go,
end.
that's
Mine's so
Yeah.
controversial.
Straight against capitalism.
There we go.
Does that include sparkling water?
Yes, sparkling water is the worst thing. That's
Oh, yeah,
ever been
definitely.
invented.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
You go, well, we'll see.
Okay.
What's yours?
Marker. Do you agree with the carbonated drinks?
You love it.
You love it.
I love it. I love the burn that you get in your throat. I love it. I love it.
Okay, yeah.
I'll always have fizzy drinks.
You do yours, and we'll see.
Okay,
we'll see.
okay.
Mine's so funny.
Right.
Oh, I'm ready.
You've got a minute. Go.
Okay, mine is bread, but
Oh.
specifically the size of the loaf of bread that you buy, because it's always too much, too many slices. It's very intimidating because then you look at it and go like, right, I have to have toast every single day before the date finishes, right? The last 5 slices of bread always go moldy, so you have to throw it in the bin or you have to pick at it. You freeze it to make it last longer, but it never tastes as good when you defrost it. I love bread, but then also when you toast it, you have to do it for a certain time. And you don't agree with me, do you? I feel like it's too intimidating. Also, the carbs are too much. I love it, but I don't want to love it. And okay, I have to keep talking. Also, seeded bread. Can we just talk about that for a few seconds? You get bread, the loaves of bread that go like 14 seeds. Very healthy. No, thank you.
That's 1 minute. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I feel like that was more aimed at whatever bread. So you like bread?
Are you fussed
You
about
like
the
bread?
size of bread, or are you fussed about bread?
Just the size
bread.
of bread that you get from the shop.
Not what Jimmy gets. I thought you aimed it specific. I thought you went the size of bread that you get.
Okay.
We get the cheapest bread, but it's still too much. And we can get a miniature size. You can get a small loaf if you like, but then it's
the size of bread.
It's smaller bread slices.
Well, I agree with you there. What I always find really annoying is that you either get one full loaf of bread, and for that exact reason you go, okay, well, I get a smaller one. And for some reason, instead of just making it smaller this way, they also make it smaller height
bread.
and width. So you end up with small bread slices.
So
You're
they're
like,
just
that's not what I
assuming
want.
that smaller people are
you just
buying.
want smaller bread. You're like, no, I would like less bread is what I would like. I understand. I agree with that.
You'll be like, oh, I want to be fancy today. I'll get some Tiger Bloom bread or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
but
Tiger
then
bread.
you try and cut it and you get crumbs everywhere. You try to toast it and it doesn't toast great.
This is a good point,
No, but
though.
this is like first world problems, isn't it? This is actual first world
Crumbs
problems that we're
everywhere.
talking
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, it's definitely. but-
Carbonated drinks, that's fair.
Carbonated
Of course it is.
drink.
Yeah, of course it's first world problems. I'm not arguing against that. I just think
The taste of bread is amazing. It's fantastic.
Yeah, but you're arguing against the
size.
size of bread, and that is a good point.
that's a good.
that I've never thought of
If you
before.
live alone and you get a loaf of bread,
I thought we were talking about bread.
I don't
and
buy
I was gonna
bread.
be like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
No.
The
Yeah.
size
I said-
of bread loaf.
Yeah.
I said at the beginning the size of
Do you know, actually, I didn't realise that I don't buy bread, but that is the reason, because I like bread. But that's a.
That's a solid point.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know
bread,
my
yeah,
life.
you
I
gotta
didn't
get
even
the
know my
butter
life
as
was
well.
being dictated by the size of
so
bread.
what would be the solution?
If
Go on.
if I could get like a half of a whole loaf for half the price,
But the same size.
same size,
Hmm.
amazing.
Or buy an uncut loaf and just really have
Put it how you want
chunks
it.
of that bread. Then you just get for it. It's still the same problem, isn't it? Oh gosh. That's a really good point.
That's a solid point.
And also, I love sparkling water, and I hate that you judged me for that.
That makes me feel ill.
I get sparkling water in my meal deals, and I start all my workshops with young people asking them what their favourite meal deal is. And also, we did that as well in workshops, and the amount of shit I get for getting sparkling water is unbelievable.
Do you drink warm water?
Why?
Do you drink like hot
Do
water?
I drink warm water?
like hot water?
No, do people do that?
Yeah,
people-
no,
no,
psychopaths do that.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah,
I have it with
my
lemon.
dad did that.
I have it with lemon.
you have hot water and lemon?
Yeah.
Well, then you have hot water
You
then.
should just have hot
Oh,
water.
yeah.
Incorrect.
Wait,
just
yeah,
wrong.
with lemon.
Apparently
No.
it's good for your system.
What?
It's the worst tasting thing in mankind.
I
No,
would
the
I
taste of
take
lemon?
it back, not carbonated hot drinks, drinking hot water is the
No,
worst.
No, but like, if
taste of lemon.
It doesn't. It tastes of hot water. Hot.
Okay, but then what if
I disagree.
what if you're ill and you've got a
Get
sore
better?
throat.
What's
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Hey,
get
listen,
better.
this is a biased podcast, and I like sparkling water and also hot water with lemon. So,
Well, anyway,
I also feel like you agree with this size of the bread
I was
thing.
100% against it because I thought it was just bread.
Yeah.
And as soon as you said size of bread, I was like,
No, it's not about the taste.
No,
or
it's a good
anything.
point.
Also,
Yeah, that's so that means that can go in the
I
bin.
was gonna say,
By the way,
I'm saying
yeah.
that's going in the bin. That's a very good. Well done. That's a very.
I would
very
also like to
standard
say
point.
I don't like wasting food
Yeah,
because
see, that's
food
the
is
thing,
expensive.
You waste
and
half the
fact
loaf
that-
anyway. You waste half the loaf anyway. In the
Yeah.
end, so yeah, rubbish.
Yeah, I've never thought about that before. That's a good one. I need to make a website with a hall of fame of like all
The
of the
winners.
things that's in the bin. You know,
In
like
about
just
10
make
years' time, you
our
should do
own bin.
a World Cup. You should have
Yeah.
all of them going into
Yeah.
the ultimate bin. Yeah, the ultimate
Yeah,
bin.
get everyone back. That'd be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the final round. So
Okay.
normally I would ask our guests to then plug their show, but it's our show, so I'll do it. On Monday, September the 20th, we've got a show at the King's Arms. If you want to come and watch it, it's £6. It was supposed to be a £5, but there's a booking fee that I didn't. It's £6. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Okay,
So I
fair
can't advertise it as a £5. It's £6. I'm telling you about the booking fee. If it's past that date, which it may well be, come and find us on Instagram, all the social medias, YouTube and stuff. Not only at Get in the Bin podcast, but also the College of Deviants. I think I'm setting up a Patreon, like that's coming up, where you get to see this podcast early and also just support the College of Deviants and the artists that are on there. So if that's something you'd like to do, that'll be coming up soon as well. But just go and follow it, support us, share our stuff, and that's it. Any final words from our guests? Passing wisdom.
Wisdom.
If you're a bread maker, please
Get your shit together.
get your shit
These
together.
words.
Come to the show.
I do. We're
Come
coming
to
for
the
you.
show. Don't feel downtrodden by what's going on in life at the minute. You know.
Yeah.
You can come see a wonderful show by us, and you know, I'm sure it'll be great. That's my words of wisdom, I suppose.
There you go.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.